Well, hello everybody, happy Friday and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and we are gonna be doing some awesome work, honing some skills, working side of Adobe XD, having some fun, doing some cool stuff. There's people in the chat already. We got Cars is in the chat, Toka and Richard Otley and Monica, Hadil, John Benedict is in the chat. Everyone's throwing out a little emoji waves. I love it. Here's what I want you to do. I just got done playing a board game with my kids. What is your favorite board game of all time? You tell me that on a Friday, because when I think about Friday and I think about having some fun, we can't really go out. So we're gonna stay in and play some board games. And since we've binge watched everything, let's talk about analog things to do on the tabletop. That could be fun. Do you have a board game you like? Mention that in the chat. And if you are trying to chat and you're talking over on YouTube, you're gonna have to join us over at Behance so you can get in this live chat here and have lots of fun. Did I tell you that I'm your host, Jesse Showalter? Oh, that's right. That's me. And I'm excited because Tia and Winish and Ashi and Sam Peterson and Tim Mobest, they're moderating our chat for us. But we also have people like Steve and Bernadette and William and who else is here? Julia and Monier is here. Lots. Aiken's back. I see Monier and Aiken and Richard Otley and a few other people every single time I do one of these daily creative challenges, and that's really exciting. I like seeing the same people over and over. It makes me happy. In the words of a good friend of mine, it makes my heart happy. That's what I'm talking about. So with it being Friday, Scramble is my favorite. I don't know that game. Somebody said Monopoly. Ouch, that's rough. Scrabble and Junk Art. I like Junk Art. That's a really good one right there. People coming in from Costa Rica, from London, from all over the world. This is really, really exciting stuff. Hey, if you're here for the first time, or if you're here for the millionth time, let's cover it real quick. What is the Daily Creative Challenge? The Daily Creative Challenge is a way for you to sharpen your UI UX design skills in 9 challenges. Today we're on challenge number 4, and you can see that by scrolling right down here. We've had our challenges unlocking. Today we're going to be talking about interactions. Specifically, we're going to be doing some drag interactions and animations to create a photo filtering application. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can also join the community chat, not just here, the live chat, but the Adobe XD Discord server that has over 35,000 creatives. Find community, feedback, fun, friends, other things that start with the letter F. You could find those in the Adobe XD Discord server. This is where you're also going to be posting your work in the current challenge tab so that we can look at all of the work. Look at all this amazing work that's come from the past few challenges that we've been doing. There's our smartwatch stuff. There's our recipe app stuff. Oh, we're going to be reviewing a bunch of these closer to the end of the stream today. So that's going to be really exciting. You're going to watch The Daily Show. That's part number 3. You're already doing that. You're crushing it. And then part number 4, share your work inside Discord or on Behance. Make sure if you share it on Behance to use the hashtag XDDailyChallenge so we can find your stuff and look at it there. People are coming from the Dominican Republic. Ashi says Monopoly is a never-ending game. It's also a cruel, harsh game where you just make yourself richer by bankrupting other people. So that's brutal. Okay, let's see. A lot of people like Scrabble. I'm into Scrabble. I like it a lot. Hey, if you're looking for a fun thing to do that you can play by Zoom, there's a free app in the App Store called Spyfall. And it's you can get everybody together on Zoom. Everyone can plug in like a code and you can jump in there and everyone can play together. So check that one out. It's free, it's fun. I didn't make it or anything, I just think it's cool. Okay, let's jump over to that starting file that we talked about and get to work. Again, day 4, we're gonna be designing a photo sharing app that allows users to apply filters, and we're gonna use some drag interaction stuff, like we said. Down below, you got some inspirations and links to a bunch of resources if you need them. And here's our starting file. Yours may look like this. It may look a little bit different because I may have come in and grabbed a couple icons, but it won't be too different. It won't be too far off. We need to get to work. Again, the idea is we have our photo uploaded or taken already, and then the user is going to swipe back and forth, tap in different areas to apply the filter. So we could do this in a lot of different ways, but we'll do a couple different versions of drag interaction that I think will be fun. So let's dive in and let's get started. I have my artboard. It's an iPhone 11. First thing I'm going to do is I have this little navigation. I'm just going to call this nav right up there in my layers panel. And I'm just going to hover over the left and top hand edge of my artboard. I'm going to drag my smart guides out so that we're 20 pixels from the side there. We're about 40 pixels from the top. I'm just these smart guides will help us line things up later on. I have a bunch of pictures down below, and it's just the same picture that I ran through a couple different Photoshop filters to recreate that filtering type deal. So if you have questions, please make sure that you drop those in the chat, or tell me things you like, things you don't like. Monir says I'm one of his favorite designers. That's so nice. Thank you. That makes me feel really humbled and happy. Okay, let's get a rectangle onto our canvas. See how I just use those smart filters? Bang, or those smart guides to just drop that guy on there? That's nice. I'm just going to give it kind of a wireframey color. And why don't we even just give it a little bit of a rounded border radius there. Now the reason I'm doing that is so I can take my image down here, copy it, and just paste it in. Let's just bump it to the height there, and I'm going to drop it behind, and I'm going to grab both elements, the image and the shape, and press Command or Control if you're on a PC, Shift M to create a mask with that shape. Okay, now we have our image. It's been kind of like cropped into place, and we are going to be reusing this look and feel here, I promise. So with that, we're going to call this thing, let me rephrase that. We're going to be reusing this component or this design asset. So why don't we call this featured image and press Command or Control K to make a component out of it. Okay. That being said, I'm going to delete it. And it's over here in my components panel. You can get there by just going down to that bottom left-hand corner and going from layers to components, just like so. So now we can drag that featured image out. The reason I deleted it is so that I get this little empty diamond. That means it's an instance and not necessarily the master component. The difference there is I make a change to the master, it makes the change everywhere. I make a change to an instance, and it's just gonna be made, that change will be made in the instance only. What does this mean? Well, this means that, and we'll do this in a second here, but if we were to come into our next one here, I'm just going to go to my Finder and go find my challenge stuff. We have some other images in here. I could drag this image in and replace it, and now we've literally just replaced the things that are going on in that instance. So or the image inside of that instance. Okay, so that we're going to do that later. Let's do a little bit more work on our kind of parent artboard and see what else we need to do. We're going to take all of these images here, I think. Should we? We should. Let's just drop them in there. Okay. And I'm going to do my little kind of fix. The reason I got these guys hanging out off of my, they're on the paste board, they're on the canvas, they're not on the artboard. I'm going to group all these together. And now because they're grouped, we get the whole thing on the artboard, and it just extends off. And what I could do is I can grab all of these images, and I just want to give all of these a little bit of a border radius as well, and maybe even a little bit of a shadow. Let's just play with our shadow a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit of a, maybe we'll go 14 on the blurring or whatever of that thing. Now, a little common thing is that I want to see this image lead off the artboard. That way it tells, it's an indicator to the user, this is horizontally swipeable. You'll see this if you open up a lot of applications. It's a common pattern that you'll find. I think we should also have some names above each one of these. So why don't we go up and get our text. Today we're using Futura PT, which I actually nabbed off of Adobe fonts.adobe.com. I found this great design foundations pack, downloaded the whole pack. One of them was Futura PT. So I'm just going to come down here into my image, paste that right there, and let's just call this normal, like so. Okay, that seems pretty good. And why don't, and this is inside of my group, right? I'm gonna call this group selector. I was gonna call it carousel, but then I realized I don't know how to spell carousel, so we're moving on. Really easy. Let's do another one there, and we'll call this BNW, black and white. Okay, let's do one more. We'll call this saturated. Let's just do a couple more so we have them everywhere. This is a duotone. Let's call it duotone 1. Boom. We'll call this one duotone 2. And this last one, let's give it an artsy-fartsy name, like artsy. artsy. Okay, cool. Has a little bit of green tinge to it. So now we have our images there. Everything's lined up with our text. We have this little selector. The idea being we want to be able to drag this guy back and forth and then tap on, the different selections. So I'm just going to group these together. There and there. Grouping all these together. Now I most definitely could have made a component out of this and then repeat gridded it, but I'm already in it. I'm in it to win it. So let's just keep going. Okay, so with that being said, we have our selections. We want to do our drag interaction. That's the first thing we want to do. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead and just select the artboard, Command or Control C, Command or Control V. It pops the artboard over there for us. And then what we're going to just do is, why don't we drag this way just a little bit? Okay. And why don't we Command C, Command V? Why don't we just drag it a little bit more this way? Okay. And what I'm gonna do is, let's see. Now this is gonna be interesting because you can't do two of the same interaction. So maybe what we'll do is, let's just, we're gonna figure out a way. We are going to figure out a way. We're gonna go into our prototype workspace here. And I'm going to space these guys out because I just want some clarity of what I'm looking at. I'm going to grab this element and I'm going to grab the entire little carousel, my entire little selector down there, and I'm going to prototype it onto my next artboard. I'm going to use not the tap, but I'm going to use my drag trigger over here in my interaction panel. I'm going to auto-animate, and why don't we give it something snappy as far as easing, like snap. That was a cheesy dad joke. Here we go. And we are going to do the same thing. We're going to prototype back. It's going to keep my settings there, drag, snap, auto-animate, the whole deal. And why don't we test it and see? We're just going to press play there. Let's move this to the middle. And we can see as I grab, I can just drag over. I can drag over like that. Okay. Now, maybe what we want to do is just delete this artboard. And we'll just move this all the way over like that. We'll see it. It'll be a little bit more drastic. So we see we can drag back and forth between the two. That looks pretty nice. Why don't we now do a little bit of interaction on, creating the selection. So we want to be able to tap one of these selections. We're on normal. I feel like we need an active state, don't we? Like, let's do a quick active state. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do a, why don't we actually move this over? I'm going to do a rectangle coming up and through like so. And I'm gonna round some of the corners there and then straighten out the bottom corners, take off this border, give it a really, really light gray. And using my Command or Control left bracket, I'm just moving it to the back there. So I feel like we could go even a little bit lighter on this gray, just really subtle, that just says, this is the active state, okay? So here's what I wanna do. I wanna create maybe another active state, and you're gonna see exactly why I'm doing this here in a second. So let's go like this. We're gonna call this A1 for active one, call this A2, A3, and we're gonna group all of them together. Why don't we just hide these two down here, like so, okay? So now we know that we are gonna have to take our active states. Our active states are on a separate deal, aren't they? So tell you what, why don't we put it inside our selector like that? Okay, we're gonna write this, call this one actives. Okay, and we're gonna make sure that let's just redo that really quickly here. I'm gonna take this and paste, whoa. We have our selector, copying that, coming over to our next artboard. Again, we're gonna move this all the way over. Okay, so now, again, if we go back and prototype, that's not what we want to prototype. We want to prototype our actual thing here. What just happened there? Prototype, boom. Now we can drag over and the active state goes with it because we haven't selected it, right? It's just going with it. We need to do a really quick prototype back. Yep. Just like this. Selector, okay. Boom, drag, auto-animate, snap, the whole thing. So now we're right back to where we were. The only difference is we have our active state there. How are we doing on time? We got a little bit of time. We're doing all right. Michelle says, snappy, snap, snap. Randy Bazil says, I'm way behind with all these XD challenges. It's okay. Don't feel overwhelmed, Randy. You don't have to go all the way back to the start if you don't want to. You could just jump in right here. That's the whole deal. It's about challenging yourself, not overloading yourself and putting a burden on yourself, okay? Why don't we do the switch now? So we have featured image, okay? And this is, again, let's go back to design. It's an instance. So why don't we call this featured image 1, okay? We're gonna copy and paste just like that. We'll put it behind and we'll call this featured image 2, okay? And we're gonna do one more. It's gonna be that artsy one, okay? So why don't we come in here and go featured image, oh, excuse me, copy and paste, bum, bum, featured image 3, okay? So far so good. So featured image 1 is our normal one. Featured image 2, we're just gonna select it. See how I've selected it here in my layers panel, featured image 2. Here's our mask, there's the shape masking it, and there's the image in question, okay? We want that black and white image. So we're just gonna go to my Finder, I'm gonna drag it in there, and now we have that version of it, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing right here with featured image, not 3, but featured image, excuse me, not 2, but featured image 3. Featured image 3 is, I think let's do the artsy one, wherever that one went to. Or actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do duotone, the pink duotone. That's pretty fun. Now, what we need to do is, we basically are just gonna zoom in. Let's open these all back up. And on the normal state here, we're gonna be like that. On the selected state, what we wanna do is take featured image 1 and we're gonna bring the opacity down. So it's gonna be a nice, slick kind of animation there. It's gonna be just like that. And then what we need to do is bring our actives and switch those. So active 2 is up, active 1 is down, boom, okay? So what we're gonna do is, let's go prototype from the selection down here. We want to tap Auto-Animate with a little bit of snap. I like it. Why don't we just come back and it's gonna be the same thing. Now, our prototype allows us to go, or at least it should, hold the phone. What did I do wrong? Let's make this the home. Tap Auto-Animate Snap. Oh, we messed that up. I don't know how we did that. This is the one that should have went back to there. All right, did everybody notice how I selected the little blue tab next to the artboard? That's usually what happens is whatever artboard you have selected, that's where your prototype starts. If you hit the blue home tab next to it, it's always gonna be there. It doesn't matter, you're always gonna start from this artboard. It doesn't matter what you have selected active. So now we should be able to go back and forth like so, and then we should be able to, but I'm still getting issues. I did it again, you guys. Holy cow. Go back up, press play. We should be able to bounce between the two. Look at that. And I like the little animation that happens here. The snap makes it, I hate to say it, a little bit snappy. It's a little bit fun. Let's see, William Agnew asks, how do you export to upload where there's an interactive when I upload to Discord? Oh, you need to export, you need to go up to your share settings, export like a working prototype of it to the cloud, then share that link inside of Discord. Then we'll be able to see the actual video for it, okay? Yeah, Monir says, don't forget to post on the XD Discord. Yeah, absolutely. And the weekend's coming up, so you got time to work on some of these things. We got a little bit more time. Why don't we play with some more stuff? Like maybe this is version A, right? Where we get to scroll back and forth like so. We get to animate back and forth between the two. That looks pretty cool. But maybe we want to do something, else. Maybe we want to do, ooh, I have an idea. Let's do this. This is fun. We're just doing different variations using our drag interaction, okay? Maybe we want to drag this main photo over and see everything move at the same time. So I tell you what we're gonna do is we have nothing there. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find, boom, my second image there. I'm just gonna delete the third image because I'm not gonna need that here. And I'm going to bring this over, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to just resize this guy a little bit. I'm gonna resize both of them. Okay, I want them to take up a little bit less of the main stage there. So this should actually be able to resize that. And then we want this one to be real small. it's there, it's off to the side, okay? Now let's do this. We're gonna do a fun drag interaction where we actually take our image. Let's boost the image up like so. And you can see the little guy kind of hiding out here, and it's centered. That looks pretty cool. Now what we're gonna do is we wanna drag on this and drag the main thing over. So I'll tell you what, let's drag some more smart filters down, or smart guidelines. I always say smart filters, why do I do that? And then let's put it on the top of that image and the top of that image. That way we know exactly the size we need to get to. So we're gonna lock that one in there, lock that little guy in there, move both of them over, and lock it into place. Now we're gonna take the image here and bump up the image, okay? What we should also see when we do this, I wanna see this whole thing come over like so. I wanna see my active go down, and my other active come up, right? Now let's prototype this thing. We're gonna do version 2 here, right? So what we're gonna do is prototype over there. We're gonna drag, auto-animate. Let's give it our snap again. And then let's do the same thing back, right back that way. Auto-animate, snap, pretty good. Let's come over here, put the home there. And now we should be able to drag over, whoop, and see it kind of go back and forth. And you'll notice it's not very drastic. Maybe we should make it more drastic really quickly. Our image is growing in size as it animates over, right? Nice big image. You're seeing a drastic change in size in the image. See how the image is growing inside of the mask. Tia Reed says she's a little lost, so I'm gonna have to rewatch this. Basically what we're doing is we're just playing with our drag interaction back and forth like so. Okay, so and what you wanna do is start with the basics, Tia. Don't get overwhelmed. What you're trying to do is just establish patterns and elements and UI elements that are reusable. We want to create a nice fun gesture. It doesn't have to be just like this. It can be some other way. So here we go. We have 2 versions of our drag interaction. We have that one, and we also had dragging the carousel below, over and back, and then selecting. So we have a couple different versions. I think that's pretty good for the day. Why don't we look at some of the work, the amazing work that you guys have been submitting in the Discord. So let's go up and see. I saw one that I really wanted to look at, and I think it's that one, but there was more screens to it. This is by Olya, and she did our smartwatch challenge yesterday, which was voice interactions, voice triggers. And I loved it because in yesterday's stream, I said it was for kids. I didn't really make it look like it was for kids, but Olya, she made it look like a kid's app. This is definitely my kids sending a voice message to their grandparents, or apparently, look at that, to me. It's super cute. It's really, really easy, and I bet the interactions on that were super fun. Now, this is a little bit more along the lines of what I did yesterday. I like this more. It's cleaner. I like the black. It's really, really simple. It's so easy to understand what you have to do here. I'm digging this. And this one was by, who submitted this? Subramanian submitted this one. Pamil did his attempt, and I actually really dig this, Pamil. I like that the screen doesn't change very much, right? I like that you're right here, you tap, you record. It says recording message. You're getting a little confirmation message to your user as they're doing the action. And then once you're done, boom, they could hit something and they would get these like little actionable items. What would be really cool is if you used component states to make one button that when you tap it expands out to multiple buttons. That would be super duper fun. What else do we got in here? Here's a little animation. Why don't we look at this one full screen? Oh, super fun. A different type of waveform, different type of audio waveform. That's really fun. I like the colors are really soft, really chill, really cool. Lots of good work. There's a little bit more work on our recipe app that we were doing the other day. This is a little bit of I like the implementation here, the colors, even bringing the avatars, who you're going to send this to. That wasn't a solution that we really thought out yesterday. You took it to the next level. I want to encourage you guys, take it to the next level, because I only have about 20 minutes to kind of work on these things. My work's not supposed to be the end all be all. I want to see your amazing work. Spend the time, really hone it in, and do all those things that you want to do. So with that being said, we are just about ready to say aloha for the day. That's aloha's goodbye, and hello, and love. in Hawaiian, multiple things. So I want to say aloha for the day. Thanks for joining us here on the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Make sure you submit your work onto Discord. If you don't have the starting file, you want to follow along, you can go back and watch this replay and work with it. Work on those drag animations, play those board games. We'll meet you right back here Monday morning for the next week of Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Same time, same place, Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend and have a fantastic time working on your challenges. I'll be around in the chat, or excuse me, the Discord a little bit after, so hang out with me. Have some fun. We'll talk to you soon.